Well, it's getting very close to that time of year again, and I am happy to say that we made it without all of us starving to death. I'm in a bit of a mood to laugh, but I decided to talk about something that is not so cheerful, but at the same time you may appreciate the humor of it. There was a TV show that aired in the 1950s called The Honeymooners. I still watch that show to this day, and it still has me cracking up. In 1956, they aired Season 1, Episode 21, A Dog's Life. And in this episode, Ralph and his buddy Norton discover this mystery food item sitting in the kitchen. Now they think that Alice, Ralph's wife, put together this mystery appetizer. They both eat the stuff and love it. So Ralph decides he is going to take it down to his boss at the bus depot, whose name is J.J. Marshall. If all goes according to plan, Ralph would name his new food product after a combination of the names Cramden and Marshall, called KRAMMAR'S Delicious Mystery Appetizer. Not a bad idea. He gave his boss a sample of the appetizer and he also enjoyed it. Excited about the idea of marketing the appetizer, Mr. Marshall called in a few other people in the office for an opinion. Well, it turns out, with no surprise to the viewer, that what they were eating was dog food. I think it's the reaction and expression on the characters' faces which keeps me laughing at that over and over again. And I bring all this up because unwittingly eating something like dog food in today's world is not impossible. And it goes way beyond meat. So here's a little test to see if you guys are on top of your game. There are 3 ingredient lists here, and one of them is vegan dog food, and the other 2 are fake meat. See if you can easily pick out the dog food. Go ahead and pause the video if you need to, and I'll give you the answer. From left to right, the first one is Beyond Meat, the second is Premium Vegan Dog Food, and the third is Impossible Burger. So, first of all, if you can't tell what something is by just looking at the ingredients alone, you probably shouldn't eat it. Vegetarian diet and mental disorders. Results from a representative community survey. Background. The present study investigated associations between vegetarian diet and mental disorders. The results? Vegetarians displayed elevated prevalence rates for depressive disorders, anxiety disorders, and somatoform disorders. Due to the matching procedure, the findings cannot be explained by social demographic characteristics of vegetarians. Example, higher rates of females, predominant residency in urban areas, high proportion of singles. The analysis of the respective ages at adoption of a vegetarian diet and onset of a mental disorder showed that the adoption of the vegetarian diet tends to follow the onset of mental disorders. Now, I showed you guys that to say this. I heard Jordan Peterson discussing something in a recording the other day that I thought was very profound. He was talking about volatility. It was from a video titled A Simple Trick to Control Your Emotions. He said that if you have a lot of mood variations or mood swings, if you are highly emotional or volatile, or just moody with a lot of negative emotions, then you should truly find out if there is indeed something wrong with you. And then he said something that hit me. He said something like, have you considered the possibility that you're starving to death? I'll actually link that video in the description box. I've said this before, the top food and drug companies work together. That's why there is a Food and Drug Administration, to protect the profits of those two industries. Oh, you think they exist to protect you? No. Just the money. And so these highly processed foods are intended to get you sick and on medication. And mental health is a growing issue, and part of it is due to nutrition. I don't know why people think that food has nothing to do with their mental health. And it absolutely does. We have to stop eating this garbage, folks. So, you know what I did, folks? I pulled out the microscope. Don't ask me why I have a microscope in my house. I just do. I went down to the local supermarket and purchased a pack of Impossible Burger and Beyond Meat. For this first round, I took samples from each. I broke down the substance in pure water just to separate the heavy particles. Now, fortunately, I did not spot anything that looked funny or weird. Basically, just a bunch of what I assume are lipid particles. So, I'm going to try a few more things and we'll see what happens, and I'll give you guys an update. One thing I will say, the Impossible Burger had a very faint odor that was very hard to identify, very close to a bloody meat scent. But the Beyond Meat smelled like dog food with a very strong citrus odor. Neither one smelled pleasant. And this is grass-fed beef under the same magnifications. Nothing really special to see, but I can tell you the main difference so far on the slides. It looks like this fake meat is mostly oil. I mean, oil is the second or third ingredient in this fake meat. And the ingredients listed first is what the product is mostly made of. Anyway, it's pretty disgusting stuff. It kind of reminds me of dollar store meat. Now, here's the problem. The ingredients, the soy and pea protein isolate, then there seems to be these nanolipid particles or very thick lipid particles, a lot of them. I wonder what that's going to do to the arteries. Now, of course, there has to be 2 fake meat companies at the top. I'm not sure who's buying this stuff to eat, but the grocery aisle I picked this up from is always empty. Because the fridge is just filled with pre-made health crap. Which makes sense, because you're in a grocery store and there's actually real food there. Now, looking at this stuff under the microscope, I didn't see anything alive or swimming around. I didn't see any tiny monsters. Now, that stuff that comes in a vial that they want everyone to take, that's a different story. That's all for now, and there is more to come very soon. Be sure to visit woodwardentertainment.com and the Woodward Entertainment store. You can follow me on Instagram at JAEWoodward. I just wanted to post a brief video for you guys for the holiday. And until next time, everyone, enjoy your holiday. Stay awake, stay aware, stay safe. And I'll talk to you all in the new year.